hitched to the fading star of a disposable periodical. And of course, the elephant in the room was the English. In its early days, US copyright law was non-existent and didn't recognize anyone else's. Publishers were free to take the talents of Dickens, Trollope, and anyone else and freely print it without permission or coin. Competing against that gave you a decided disadvantage. Within these stories, you will also find very occasional examples of historical prejudice. A few words here and there which in today's world some may find inappropriate or even offensive. It is not our intention to make anyone feel uncomfortable, but to show that the world, in order to change, must reconcile itself to the actual truth, rather than put it out of sight. Context is everything, both to understand and to illuminate the path forward. The author's words are set. Our reaction to them encourages our change. Within this melting pot of styles, genres, and wordplay, one fact stands out. The American short story literary tradition has a strong, vibrant, and almost inclusive history, if you know where to look, which is here.
The Black Vampire, A Legend of St. Domingo, by Uriah Derrick Darcy. So have I seen, upon another shore, another lion give a grievous roar, and the last lion thought the first a boar. Bombast, Furios, William Barnes Rhodes. To the author of Wall Street. My dear sir, charmed with the success of your anomalous drama, which, without aspiring even to the character of nonsense, has already seen 3 editions, I have been myself induced to venture on publishing, with the sanguine hope of also scraping together a few shillings in these hard times. Permit me to inscribe this tale to you, with a fellow feeling for your lack of genius, and a fervent hope that our names may be encircled by the same evergreen in the temple of the Muses, and that we may long flourish together on the same pedestal, embellishing and elevating the literature of the auction-room. I remain, my dear sir, your affectionate friend and obedient servant, the author. Introduction. If any person should have patience to read the following narrative and can discover the author's drift, it is more than he can do himself. If it be thought exquisite nonsense, it is more than the writer dares hope, and if it be pronounced simple, stupid, and unadulterated absurdity, his own private opinion will perfectly coincide with that of the public. He began to write without any fable, and before he had found any had spun out the thread of his ideas. This tangled skein of absurdities is now exposed to criticism from the laudable motive of showing of how much nonsense an individual may be delivered in the short space of 2 afternoons, without any excuse but idleness, or any object but amusement. The prominent descriptions, which it is here attempted to ridicule, are fresh in the memory of all who have read The White Vampire, and to those who have not, the superstition must be so familiar that it is unnecessary to make useless extracts. That the author may not, however, be misunderstood, it may be necessary to state that in the speech of the vampire he had no design of descending to that meanest of all intellectual exercises, a travesty on authors who are justly admired, but meant, if anything, simply to show how passages, which were fine in their original use, when garbled by the ignorant and tasteless, become a melancholy rhapsody of nonsense. But first on earth, as vampire sent, thy course shall from its tomb be rent, then ghastly haunt thy native place, and suck the blood of all thy race. There from thy daughter, sister, wife, at midnight drain the stream of life, yet loathe the banquet which perforce must feed thy livid living course. Thy victims, ere they yet expire, shall know the demon for their sire. And cursing thee, thou cursing them, thy flowers are withered on the stem. But one that for thy crime must fall, the youngest, best beloved of all, shall bless thee with a father's name, that word shall wrap thy heart in flame. Yet thou must end thy task and mark her cheek's last tinge, her eyes' last spark, and the last glassy glance must view which